joined by the new coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Mike Babcock. Mike, it was the world's worst kept secret. During the Memorial Cup in Kamloops, it was announced that you were probably going to be the coach of the Blue Jackets, and then we had to wait until you got that last paycheck from the Maple Leafs to actually announce your signing, and they announced your signing on the same day they signed Adam Fantilli. So congratulations and welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. It should be a lot of fun. Obviously, getting Adam is a huge deal for us, but the Columbus thing, I've talked to those guys for a long time, and so my wife and I knew we were going there for a long period of time before it came out. But in saying that, that's the way it is in business, as you know.
Mike, we knew some of what you were doing since you left the Leafs, and it all sounded interesting, maybe therapeutic. You can tell us, but how has being away from the NHL, but not from hockey, changed you or prepared you for this return to the NHL?
Well, actually, the first thing I'd tell you is that the 3.5 years have been like a gift from God. I say to everyone, there used to be one season, the hockey season. Suddenly it was the water ski season, the downhill ski season, and the hunting season. And you got to do exactly what you wanted to do. It was about 6 months ago, my wife said to me, you probably should get a job. I never see you anymore. And that's how busy and how much fun we've been having. At the same time, the opportunities I got at the University of Vermont and the University of Saskatchewan were really helpful to me. I learned a lot by being around great people. When you're at a university, there's a specialist in every field. And so when you talk to them, they got information that you don't have. And I thought that was beneficial as well, being with the kids so much. They need your help there. They're around way more often than a pro player would be because they don't have as many places to go once they're on campus. And so that was pure joy for me.
Did you ever think it was ordained that you wouldn't get a job?
Well, I don't want to get into a whole bunch here, but we never thought we were going back. Right away, when I first got fired, I thought it was going back right away. Then when we started having fun, it wasn't our plan to go back. I really believe if my son hadn't gone to the Ottawa Senators after the University of Saskatchewan, that kind of got me going. I started breaking down every game, and so I could talk to him the next day or after the game or whenever he wanted. And that got the juices going. So when teams reached out, suddenly you were more interested and you kind of had a little bit of fire going. But it sure wasn't our plan at Christmas last year.
Let me ask you, just hold on, Dave. So when you did say teams, I'm not looking for specifics, but 5 teams, 6 teams, how many teams touch base with you?
I've talked to, since I've been out of work, I've talked to lots of teams, but it didn't work. And it wasn't something of interest. It wasn't something that mattered. What's so good for me about Columbus is Yarmo and I have known each other forever. JD and I have known each other forever. Basil McRae and I have known each other forever. They made it very clear they wanted me to go there. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes from my house. It's 90 minutes from my hunting farm. I get to live and have a life and do what I want to do and coach in the best league in the world. At the same time, you had Provy, you had Severson, you had Fantilli. Suddenly we're in a way different look. Now the division's real tight, but we have a chance for an upward swing for sure, and that excites me.
Well, I would say there's not a lot of pressure in taking over a 31st place team, but I think there is, if you can call it pressure, or at least great expectations for real improvement. What will it take to produce that?
Well, I mean, the first thing is getting everybody on the same page. So right now, just behind us down at my tiki bar, I have the American League coaches and the NHL coaches all there. We've been getting together a number of times. I've basically on the phone, Zoom, or in my office had a chance to just about meet with most of the guys now. Jenner's getting married here coming up. A bunch of guys are coming in. I'll go back and do that. And I think just getting together with them and finding out what they want and what they think they're good at and how they want to be communicated with is, an initial first step. But, Lars was my captain at the World Junior, and he did what he could there. Now it's my opportunity. I have to do what I can there to help them help themselves. But we think we can take a step for sure. Now, I don't think the Carolina Hurricanes, the New Jersey Devils, or the New York Rangers are very worried about the Columbus Blue Jackets.
So you might like that.
There you go.
So your relationship with Brad Larson is one that's deep. Since you got the job, have you talked to Brad, and did he give you any advice?
Yeah, he reached out to me, and what I did with Lars is I said, I'll give you a call in a couple of weeks. I didn't think that was the right time at the point, but anytime you've won with guys, I can remember like it was yesterday, Lars sitting in the lobby. We're in Switzerland. He's the captain of the team. He was with Swift Current. You talk to him all the time. You don't forget that stuff. I've had a relationship with him for a long time. He's a good man. And in our business, there's always someone that follows you. There was someone there before you. There was someone that follows you. That's just the way it is. That's why we get contracts, and that's why we're looked after.
You have critics. Some harsh words have been spoken. So two-part question, not to turn this into a press conference, but what criticism have you accepted as valid and perhaps you've dealt with? And what would you choose to refute, dismiss out of hand as wrong or unfair?
Well, I'm not going to get into a bunch of this, but what I would say to you is I'm not a social media guy. Yeah. I got like 4 of the 5 people in my family aren't, but I got one daughter that is. So the bottom line is you would like everyone to speak nicely about yourself. That's just the way we all are. In leadership, that's just not a reality. Now, some of the stuff that's been said about me is so far from true, it's not even funny. But on the other side of it, the joy I have in my life comes from my wife, my 3 kids, and then I've had unbelievable joy from coaching hockey. I'm a school teacher by trade. When you're called teacher, when you're called coach, there's responsibility that comes with that. You would like to treat everybody as fairly and as kindly as you possibly can. There's no question over the last 3.5 years that I have learned. My daughter says to me all the time, Dad, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, it's your tone. The message sent and the message received isn't always the same thing. If you think at any time in my life I sat out a player because I didn't like them, you've lost your mind. We make decisions every night. People don't play. It has nothing to do with like. It has to do, did you think they could help the team win? I've never thought about that once. I've been a school teacher, then I was a professor. I've been an intramural director, a coach. I've had all these opportunities in my life hired by people that worked with me or played for me. Something in this story doesn't add up, but I'm done talking about this stuff. I took my opportunity to learn and to grow. I'm going to share that with the guys, but we're going to have a ton of fun in Columbus. We're going to enjoy each other and we're going to make each other better.
Well, let me turn it around exactly the other way then, because what I have heard and what I'm sure you have heard from the players in Columbus is that they wanted you because they told management, above all else, we want to win. And we know that there's a guy who wins and has won everything there is to win in hockey. It seems to me that the players have invited Mike Babcock to be their coach. And if I were you, I would think you've already gone over one hurdle that maybe every coach deals with a new team that maybe has already been dealt with.
Yeah, and Dave, I know exactly what you're saying. And saying that, when Zach Werenski's sitting down here with me the other day, we made it very clear is that I'm here to help you, but you're here to help me. If I cross the line with you at any time, you get in here and you tell me that. If I'm doing something you don't like, you get in here and tell me that, because your job as the coach is to do the same, but we're all in it together to try to make each other better. I've said the same to the medical science team, so the strength people, the physios, whatever, the same to the assistant coaches. It works best when you're all in it together and you're having fun. Now, what happens after you leave someplace, you can't control the narrative on that. Some places, nothing happens. Other places, lots said. The bottom line for me is I'm real lucky. I have this unbelievable wife. I've been married for 32 years now, hanging out for 35. She's my girlfriend. I have 3 intelligent adult children that are doing well in their careers. They have no problem giving their dad a tightening and keeping them in line. I have lots of support that way. In saying that, I love hockey. I can't help it. My son and I have broken down every playoff game. We're into it. That's just what we do. But I love hockey, but I love the people more. And you want to be a good influence on people in your life. I'm very lucky. The people that have reached out for me, the amount of guys that have talked to me and reached out to me over the last 3 years has been spectacular. I do what I can to help people. I'm going to continue to do that.